Hi, my name's Darren from UK Pro Talent Training, and over the last 16 years I've been teaching people how to change lives and start a new career in tiling. One of the techniques I've shown is how to cut a curve in a tile. It's pretty straightforward to cut a straight line in a tile. All the tile cutters will do that, but it's a bit more difficult to cut a shape in a tile. So if you have a look at this tile here, this looks like a straightforward floor tile. However, this technique is so accurate, I've actually cut this into 4 curves. So if I open that there, and open that one, and that one, and that one, you can see that that fit perfectly back together in its 4 actual sort of shapes that I've cut out. So this is a great technique if you have to cut around a shape of an obstacle. So if you have a sort of a basin, so this is simulating like a basin top, and you have to take that shape in there, this is a great technique. It's something I developed about 25 years ago, and I've used it ever since. And I used to teach the thousands and thousands of people on my training center, sort of how do you do this technique. So I'm going to share this with you now. It's a very simple tool that is not really bought. You have to sort of make it. So it's made from a scoring wheel from a company called Ruby. And all it is, it's a steel shaft with a 6mm wheel on there. So the scoring wheel is actually called a Ruby TS 6mm wheel. It's designed to go inside of Ruby scoring tile cutters. But what we're going to do is we're going to mount it inside of a piece of wood. Now this is about 6 inches, and you can just make this from the end of a broom handle, just cut it off. And what we need to do now is drill a hole in that. And the diameter of the hole is 10mm. So just drill a 10mm hole down there, and then you can simply push that into there, which will secure that tool. So I just call it a scribe. So with a scribe, all we need to do now is freehand, we're just going to run it down that curve. And I'll demonstrate this a little bit more in detail, but I'll just quickly do a curve for you. So again, all I'm going to do here is run that until I can hear that score, like that. Now there's an exit point on here, so if I just get a marker pen just so you can see, the curve is something like this. So the curve that I've scribed is pretty much that. So with a tile cutter, the scoring line in a straight line would normally be the break where you'd place. So the exit point where I finished there, that break is going to go on there. And I'm trying to get that scoring alignment there, trying to get that curve as close to that as I can. So all I'm going to do now is drop that bar down, and with a quick flick, that is going to take that off there. So if I take that marker pen off there, you can see how that is perfectly cut that into that shape. Get this back together, get rid of the black lines. So you can see that has fit perfectly back together, but now it's in 2 pieces as a shape. So great if you need to sort of quickly do this technique rather than getting your wet saw out or your angle grinder and sort of make a load of dust and a load of water everywhere. So very easy to do. I'll just explain a little bit more detail how it's done. So the trick to the scribe here, the wheel is obviously round, but it's got an edge. When you look closely at this wheel, it's really important that we get this edge continuously on the tile. We don't want to be sort of running it on the side, so the wheel will be at that position or that position. The wheel has got to be straight forward. What I tend to do here is put my shoulder high so that arm is really straight, and then sort of push down, so I'm leaning sort of into that with that arm straight. Don't bend it like that, otherwise when you press down, all the pressure is going into the pivot of your elbow. So keep that shoulder high and lock straight. We need to start this right from the beginning. So what I tend to do here is put my thumb right on the edge of that tile there so it doesn't fall off. So now I know that my thumb is stopping that wheel from falling off, and that's going to cut it right from the end. And all I'm going to do now is roll my thumb onto the edge there. So with that thumb down and that shoulder high, I'm just going to lean into it. And you want to be hearing this score. And it's like a glass cutter going across a piece of glass. You'll hear this score, and make sure you can hear that score. If you can hear the score, it's not going to follow the curve. So once you've scored that, like I've said before, the exit point would have been at this point, and that means that that's where you put, so the breaking bar in your tile cutter would be about there. So therefore just pop it down like I've showed you, and that will take that curve out. So a really good technique to have a go at and practice. It is a little bit restricted to ceramic tiles. The nature of porcelain tile with it being fired so high and fully vitrified, porcelain doesn't really follow the same break as like sort of ceramics, so it would have to go back to an angle grinder, which I tend to just show in different lessons, but how you do this in angle grinder with a curve. But definitely for a quick fix on a ceramic tile, definitely worth checking out the Scribe and using that technique in your arsenal of skills of cutting tiles. So if you like this one, hit the subscribe button and check out more like sort of videos like this. If it is a career in tiling that you're looking for, we'll do a full how to tile for a living course, 45 lessons, purely designed how to take it from no experience right the way up to all the professional tiling skills. This is just a little one that's in that program, but there's loads of different professional ways to cut tiles that I'll take you through as well. So hope you like it. Thanks for listening.